All right, we are green. Brothers and sisters, you bastions of freedom. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this together. Guys, oh boy, right on cue, we have a new alarm. A massive pandemic in the brewing. Coverage seems extremely similar to something we may have experienced, I don't know, about 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago. You guys let me know what you think in the comments as you filter in here. But I sure find the timing here suspicious. And if you're watching this on the back end or in the live stream right now, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are on a quest for freedom from border to border and coast to coast. And thank you in advance for jumping on this freedom train. All right, guys, listen. I find the timing here a little suspect. Just a smidgen. Because do you guys remember, I'm going to do a little bit of a monologue while you guys filter in here. Do you guys happen to remember that, I don't know, they had some sort of situation. They promised us 2.5 weeks, which turned into 2 years. They sent out stimmies everywhere. The government blew out our spending out the wazoo because they just made up money on the whole cloth. They printed it out. It went into the population, and then the inflation spiked. Wouldn't let us out of our homes, started to get a lot of anger, a lot of violence, a lot of crime popped up, murder spiked, which then the inflation followed it. So then we had an increase in murder, there was an increase in demand for the politicians to provide gun control. They didn't get it, in fact they got smoked, the inflation's still with us, and then we started seeing a murder or a homicide decline, and then they took credit for the entire thing because they didn't get any gun control. Remember all that? I do. Well, anyway, so now that enough of you are in here, look at this. This is the peskiest thing. It's so odd right before the inauguration. We might have to open up our can of sarcasm. Because what are the odds? Check this out. Because I saw someone in here put a wild goose chase, and that's funny. So they get credit. Just in, the CDC has announced the first severe case of bird flu, showing mutations, prompting experts to warn that we may see another pandemic. Wow. That was subtle. All right. Quote, the virus may mutate and become more easily transmitted person to person, said infectious disease expert Dr. Dean Bloomberg. And you're going to notice something else that I didn't mention in the introduction. You remember that whole who was president when the first one dropped? Yeah. Is it weird that he's going to be inaugurated in like 2.5, 3 weeks and all of a sudden another one's dropping? No? Me? Us? Okay. And you're also going to notice somebody else here in a second after we get through the feared gin up. Check this out. Let's just jump to CNN and see. They never lie to us.
Concerning new CDC report on the first severe human case of bird flu in the U.S. Samples taken from a patient in Louisiana show mutations that could make it easier for this virus to spread from person to person.
I wonder if it was a wet market from eating bats. I don't know. Anyway.
Now, right now, there's no evidence it's been passed along to anyone else, and the CDC says risk to the public remains low, but experts...
Risk to the public remains low, but, guys, these people, oh my God, oh my God, let's just keep going. I'm going to show you the comments later, too. Hilarious.
Warn a single mutation like this could potentially lead to another pandemic.
Wow, subtle.
The virus may mutate and become more easily transmitted person to person. So the more this virus circulates and specifically co-circulates with human strains, that's going to increase the odds of the virus evolving to more human-to-human transmission. And that of course, could signal another pandemic.
You guys, okay, I'm just going to say the elephant in the room while we let that sit and permeate for a second. You guys, you remember back in the day when pandemics happened like once every 100 years, once every 200 years? What are the odds we get 2 in 4 years? No? Math? There's that sarcasm again. Let's keep going. Because remember, it's really super deadly now. Super scary. Super scary. Odds are almost non-existent. But oh my God, it's scary. Jeez, it's almost like they learned they got control. Anyway.
Joining us now is Dr. Deborah Birx.
Hold the phone! Ding, 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 ding! We have an alarm. You remember who that is? Because she was involved when the first one popped around. She was the one that was right there with Dr. Fauci. Remember that? Before the Fauci-ouchie came about through Project Warp Speed? Yep, she was in the White House right here. Isn't it weird? Same president, same doctors, same people, same everything. Isn't that odd? Oh my gosh, wonders never cease.
You may remember her as the response coordinator for the White House Coronavirus Task Force in the first Trump administration. We are very fortunate to have your expertise as we try to figure out what's going on with the bird flu and what it could mean.
What's going on?
So far, 65 human cases of bird flu have been reported in the U.S. this year, all contracted by animals. But now we have this new mutation in Louisiana. How worried should we be about bird flu potentially becoming another pandemic?
Okay, so again, this is the part you have to understand. You have to get your degree in media. That's why we're here, right? So we led this off with the first mutation has occurred. Now the CDC is raising the alarm that another pandemic could come along, but they've also admitted that there's not really any risk. But now, how concerned are we there's another pandemic coming? Okay, all right.
Well, I love the way you said 63 cases, because I have no idea how many cases there were or are, because our number one principle in preventing pandemics is detect. And if you go to the CDC website, you can see that they're monitoring more than 10,000 exposures, but they've only tested 530. What does that mean? That means we're not testing enough. And we know from other viruses that...
Does that sound familiar? We're not testing enough? Anybody else get their freaking brain scraped with that stupid plastic thing? I did. Let me know in the comments. Holy crap. I swear to God, it's the exact same script. Anyway. I mean, if it were to be created and written, the script is, there's plagiarism going on. But that's a hypothetical. Because, of course, they wouldn't do that. Because this is a brand new thing, right? It's just another pandemic risk.
A lot of the spread can be asymptomatic. So we kind of have our head in the sand about how widespread this is from the zoonotic standpoint, from the animal to human standpoint. Now, also remember, most of those cases described to date happened in the spring and the summer, not when we had H1N1 circulating right now, when we're running the flu pandemic throughout the United States. So we have rising flu cases, and now we have still zoonotic events coming. So now you've set up for potentially a farm worker getting H5N1, also getting the current flu strain, and reassorting in that individual. To me, that's almost a bigger threat to these mutations happening in individuals over time.
When you say reassorting in that person, what does that mean?
Okay, so the H5 virus, which doesn't adapt too well to our upper respiratory tract and is preventing us from getting infected, but can infect in cows and pigs and cats and dogs. So our flu, which has the binding sites for us, for our nasal passages. Viruses are very specific, and so they're very animal or human specific. Now we have human flu circulating. At the same time, we have this zoonotic flu circulating.
Okay, what she's trying to say is, you got animal flu, you got people flu. They don't like and get along, but if they start hanging out together, they'll start populating just like people do. So then it's going to go into there, and boom, pandemic 2.0 within 5 years. Like, we're setting records all over the place. Guys, all I'm saying, I'm just saying, the timing is incredibly suspect. The exact same actors are involved. The exact same media networks are out there ginning up fear about it. History may not repeat itself perfectly, but it sure rhymes. Let's see what the population's thinking right down here. This part's going to be fun. That was mine because I thought that was just good. This is a good one. Guys, there's a new super virus. It's super serious, Americans. Anyway, leave me alone. There's a couple more that I don't want to show you that one. This one's funny. I wonder what's causing it. Okay. Skipping that one because I'll get in trouble. Okay, skipping that one. Here you go. My personal favorite. All aboard the train to nope. Yeah, you figure that out. Nope. It's so amazing. All right, we have a super chat, and per our rules, we always address the super chats as they come in. The only reason they are doing this is the peanuttery wefers believe cow farts are going to delete them. This crap is coming from California and the WF conquered state. I read it. I said it. And this pretty much surmises my feelings on this pretty succinctly. Absolutely not. And I want to be on this train. This train with this sign. Right here. That train. That sign. And now let's have a moment of seriousness together because that was fun, wasn't it? All right. Guys, the last time that we had conversations like this, it ended in it'll only be 2 weeks, which ended up to be 2 years, as I mentioned in the opening monologue of this video. They pumped money into the system, which jacked up our inflation and jacked up our housing cost across the board. The standard of living went way down because the cost of living went way up. You had people who were cracking off because of those pressure influences, unlike they have a spike in recent memory. Then they tried to use that spike, which they induced with their actions, for gun control. Now, they got smoked in a lot of places. They won in a lot of blue areas because they have complete control. So on this channel, we talk about the gun rights, the 2A control, the 2A rights versus the 2A control. And then we also talk about the related politics, which have effect on that because it's a broader picture. This stuff that we're talking about right here was used with brutal effect against our gun rights because the pressure in the system went up, which caused more outflow and spikes of the homicides, and then it fell off a cliff once the stimulus went away. Never let an emergency go to waste is a really good example of what these people did to our gun rights back in the whole 1.0. And since we clearly have CNN ginning up fear about a 2.0, I figured it was a good time to bring attention to that. Anyway, just saying. What do you guys think? Am I landing that plane? Let me jump in the comments real quick because I love hanging out with you guys. Someone said they're a pure blood. Hey, you're not alone. Someone else is too. My video is blurry. That is because your internet connection needs to be refreshed. 2 weeks to flatten the curve turned into people getting arrested for surfing on a deserted beach. Facts. Gun sales went through the roof. Novus Nick, you are correct. They did go through the roof because people were popping off. You are absolutely correct. And a lot of the stuff in here, the Fauci ouchie, I can't really talk about going into too much. But guys, there it is. We just saw it. Here, let me do it again. Let me do it because I like you guys again. Let me show you. Like, boop. I figure that's a good way to leave that up on screen. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm Braden. Let me know what you think in the comments field. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell. See you later.